What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad channel. My name is Josh, bringing you all a brand new deck profile. Today, we are going to be covering Victini Rapidash, the brand new Rapidash from Silver Tempest with the heat boost ability that's going to make our Victini VMAX do absolutely insane numbers of damage. But before we hop into the video, I do just want to take a quick moment to thank all of our sponsors. Without further ado, let's just go right into it. So looking at the list here, we have the Victini Rapidash deck. This is definitely the deck that I am the most excited about with the introduction of Silver Tempest. It's not that good, but I am a big Volcanion EX fan. So the remake of Volcanion EX, Heat Boost Rapidash coming into the format, of course, was something that I was super excited about. I think one of the best partners for Rapidash is definitely the Victini VMAX. Max victory for 2 energy, a fire, and a colorless does 100 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, this attack does 120 more damage. So what that means is that with 2 Rapidash in play, you can discard 2 fire type energy, and then all you need to do is announce max victory, and you are taking a one-shot on any V-Star in the format, so long as they're not playing any damage reduction. But even if they are, you can play that Choice Belt. You have a 3rd Rapidash. We can go as high as 340 damage with the Victini VMAX. Incredibly strong card. Victini has been sort of out of the limelight for a while, so I'm excited to show you guys some games with Victini. We are also playing the Radiant Charizard. Radiant Charizard, obviously incredibly strong card in the format. That Combustion Blast does 250, so in theory, again, can go up to that 340 damage mark. 370 with the Choice Belt, thanks to that Heat Boost Rapidash. So we are choosing to play 4 Battle VIP Pass as well as 2 Forest Steel Stone in order to find those VIP passes. It's difficult to find enough ball cards early to really establish your board, so that VIP pass is going to be very important to our strategy. Other ball cards, we have 2 Evo Incense, 3 Quick Ball, and 3 Ultra Ball. We don't really mind discarding those basic fire energy. We have a lot of them, as well as the Magma Basin Stadium card. Once during each player's turn, that player may attach a fire energy card from their discard pile to one of their benched fire Pokemon. If the player attached energy in this way, you can put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Now, we could play the Radiant Heatran in that deck as a result, but Radiant Charizard is just a little bit more consistent in my opinion. We're also playing 2 Training Court just to get those fire energy back to reuse them for the heat boost ability. And then we have our supporters, 3 Marnie, 4 Professor's Research. We are playing 1 copy of Raihan for that energy acceleration, 1 copy of Roxanne, 3 copies of the brand new Serena. This is going to be our Gust. We can pull up our opponent's Pokemon V that they have on their bench, drag it up, take huge knockouts for 2 prizes. And then we have 2 Air Balloons. Those are going to be our pivot cards. We're not playing a ton of Switch. We're not playing that many basic Pokemon, so you don't need a whole ton of Switch. It's just good. You start the Ponyta, if you start the Crobat, you're going to want the Air Balloon so that you can switch into the Victini. 1 Choice Belt just to hit some higher damage numbers without having to discard those fire energy. We are playing 2 Forest Seal Stone. Those are mostly for finding the Battle VIP Pass turn 1. It essentially gives you 6 outs to Battle VIP Pass on your first turn, but if you don't use them for VIP Pass early, it's very nice for later in the game, finding that Raihan, finding that Roxanne. And then we are playing 4 Heat Energy. That just gives your Fire-type Pokemon plus 20 HP. Makes it harder for Mew to take knockouts. Makes it harder for Lugia to take knockouts. It's going to give our Victinis a little bit more survivability. And then we are playing 10 basic Fire Energy. Obviously, need them for that Heat Boost ability. So important to be playing quite a few basic Fire Energy. So yeah, that's the list. It's pretty simple, but I think that it's going to be quite effective. So let's just get started on some games. So starting things off here, we are going to take a mulligan real quick. This would have been a nice hand, but that's just fine. We are going to start with that Ponyta. They're going second as well, meaning we will get to use that Serena. We have the Ultra Ball in hand as well.
be able to grab ourselves a Victini V. We are against that Mew VMAX deck. Looks like they have a pretty solid start. They get the Mew down, they get the Genesect. I'm assuming they have plenty of other stuff going on in their hand. There's the Cramomatic heads. Most likely going to be getting that Battle VIP Pass. Yep, there it is. The tried and true classic, grabbing 2 Genesect from the deck. Another Quick Ball, discarding a Latios. Not something you see every day. Rotom comes down after getting that Mew off the Quick Ball. They're going to bench the Mew. They're going to be able to attach a Choice Belt and then Genesect for 4 cards. They do attach the double Turbo Energy. The Oricorio comes down here as well, and they're going to be able to draw up to 6. And they do just pass it to us. Okay. Let's see. How do we want to play this? I think we're going to go ahead and Ultra Ball the Roxanne and the Fire here. Okay, we're going to grab the Victini. We will attach the Heat Energy, and then I'm going to Serena, discarding the Evolution Incense and hoping to find one of those Battle VIP Pass. We do find it. That is great. So we are going to be able to set up our bench a little bit better. I do kind of want a Quick Ball. I could go ahead and Quick Ball here, grabbing a Crobat and setting up my hand a little bit more. I don't mind that too much, so I think I am just going to go ahead and Quick Ball the Evo Incense, grab that Crobat, and draw up to 6 cards. It's a pretty solid hand. So I could Magma Basin here, setting up a second Victini. I'm going to go ahead and Quick Ball, grab the Ponyta, and we will Magma Basin to this Victini. And then even if they kill one of our Victinis, we do have another one set up for the next turn. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to our opponent. They have quite a large hand, but they weren't able to use their last Genesect last turn, so it could be a bit clunky, which would be great for us in the long term. We do have another Fire Energy in our discard, so if I have to retreat this, that's just fine. But they do have the Ultra Ball. Going to be able to find that Mew VMAX, so at the very least, they'll be able to take a KO on our Ponyta. Yep, Mew VMAX comes down here. They're going to be at least able to Genesect for 2. They do bump the Magma Basin. That could be a little problematic for us, but giving us Pokestop is not something that we are going to complain too much about either. We'd love to see some more ball cards in our hand. We'd also just love to draw into a supporter of really any kind. But I think we're in an okay position regardless here. They are down a power tablet, meaning that with that Heat Energy, if I get this Victini VMAX down, they won't be able to one-shot our Victini VMAX, but we'll see. We'll see what they're going for. They are taking a little bit to consider their options. I think their best bet is to Genesect first. I don't think there's a reason to risk using Pokestop here. It's better to just get it out of the hand, bump my Magma Basin, and then if you need to Pokestop a little bit later, you have that option. But I wouldn't risk discarding the Pokemon and the energy. Okay, so they are just going to switch into the Mew VMAX before drawing any cards. I wonder if they have the boss's orders in hand already? No, they're just going to Genesect. So this is a good learning moment. Generally, before you make committal decisions like this, you want to draw as many cards from your deck as possible. That's just to have as much information as possible before you commit to a choice. It is likely that our opponent was going to switch into this Mew VMAX anyways, but you never know. I mean, you may have wanted to keep this Mew V active. You could evolve into a Mew VMAX in the active position. You're not necessarily looking to Psychic Leap here, so I definitely would have waited, because that free retreat doesn't go away the more cards that you draw. Looking at our opponent's discard, they don't have anything too crazy in there. Again, the Latios is a bit strange. The Luster Purge for 4 energy does 210, discard a few energy from the Pokemon. They do get a very solid Pokestop there. Getting a Quick Ball, getting a Power Tablet. They do have a massive hand. We would really love for them to miss the Gust here. If they miss boss's orders, we could be in a pretty solid position. But we'll see. We'll see what they're able to pull off. They do just cross Fusion Strike, so they are going to be taking the knockout on our Ponyta. Techno Blast, yep, that makes sense. And then I am going to go ahead and promote our Victini V. I'm going to bench a second Ponyta, get our Victini VMAX onto the field. I can attach the second Heat Energy, giving us a little bit more HP here. I do sort of want to use the Pokestop. Pokestop plus... yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so we get a Quick Ball and an Air Balloon. We do lose the Research. That would have been our top deck, so that's a little bit of a shame, but I think it's just fine. We'll go ahead and use Max Victory here, do 200 damage to our opposing new VMAX. Our opponent has a massive hand. They have to have a ton of options here for themselves. They do Cram-O-Matic. They do Flip Tails. That's good for us. The one nice thing about them having a hand this large is that it may be difficult for them to get their hand too far below the 6-card threshold that they need for the Fusion Strike systems. That Quick Ball we saw them take off of the Pokestop. They did get rid of a couple of Battle VIP passes. These Pokestops for our opponent are crazy. They did get 2 Rotom phones there. They're going to need to discard some cards from their hand, though, to really utilize those. Oh, wow. 2 Power Tablets, 3 Power Tablets come down. That's an extra 120 damage. Thanks to these Heat Energies, though, it's not going to be enough to take a one-hit KO on our Mew VMAX, which is good for us. Or not Mew VMAX, our Victini VMAX. They do get the Rotom phone. Most likely they're looking for their own Mew VMAX. They are out of damage amplifiers, though. They could find a switch here. They could find another Mew VMAX here. Yeah, there's the Ultra Ball. That's going to get them their other Mew VMAX. Will probably do quite a lot for them. Let's see. We do have this Crobat V on the bench, causing us a little bit of problems, making the prize mapping for our opponent quite a bit easier here. They're going to be able to draw some extra stuff up with that Genesect getting 5 more cards. They do have 1 more Genesect as well. They did not... okay, there's the switch card. So they are going to go back into this Mew VMAX. Looks like they weren't able to find another Mew VMAX. Very interesting that they didn't grab it off that Ultra Ball. Maybe they're only playing a 3-2 line. It's very possible that they prized their other one. They may have prized 2 Mew VMAX as well. You never really know. They are just going to discard some cards, draw a few more here. Let's see. There's the Cram-O-Matic. They do flip tails on the Cram. They are going to be able to draw a few more cards. Did discard one of their cross switchers, meaning at most they're going to be able to cross switcher 1 more time this game. But they are down to only 7 cards in their deck. We are going to be able to take the return knockout onto this Mew VMAX, and then maybe we'll be able to clean things up with our Radiant Charizard. I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy to it in advance. Am I afraid of Marnie? A little bit. Let's go ahead and Air Balloon the Crobat. There's no real reason not to. And then I can Max Victory, taking the knockout on the Mew VMAX. We go down to 3 prizes here. Get the Ultra Ball. And our opponent does just concede. The great thing about that position there, with that Ultra Ball, it meant that as soon as that Mew VMAX came into the active position, we could Charizard alongside 2 Rapidash to do 310 damage to take the KO on that other Mew VMAX. But it didn't look like they even had one. They were unable to find one the previous turn. I think it was probably in their prizes anyway. So we do lock up that first game with the Victini Rapidash deck, and we'll jump right into another one. Looks like we do lose the coin flip in the second game, meaning we aren't going to get to go first this time. Oh, our opponent actually lets us go first. There are a couple decks that are cool with choosing second in this format. Lost Box, obviously one of them. Giratina could be one of them. We'll see. It looks like our opponent is flipping over that Sableye. You have a pretty solid hand here. Going to be able to grab both a Ponyta and a Victini V from our deck. Going to attach that fire energy to our Victini V. And actually, I think we're in a position where we can just go ahead and pass the turn here. Want to see if our opponent is playing that Giratina before I commit discarding the Choice Belt. Looks like our opponent does have that Colress Experiment. They started Sableye, not Comfey. Great for us. We definitely don't want to see the Comfey coming down here. They do get 3 cards to their hand. There's the Water Energy. There's the Mirage Gate. Definitely playing against Giratina here. There's a Fighting Energy. This could be Mirage Gate Urshifu. That's an option. They could just be playing like a Zapdos V as well here. There's the Fog Crystal, probably going to get another Comfey down. They may have a Switch card in their hand, but more options into Lost Zone. Yep, there's that second Comfey. Scoop Up Net, going to go into that other Comfey. We would love to avoid the Cramorant here. It's not exactly something that we want to see, but if we do, we will deal with it here. If our opponent is playing a V Pokemon, that puts us in a better position at the very least. There goes the Radiant Greninja. That's a huge surprise to see put in the Lost Zone. Radiant Greninja is a huge part of a lot of these Lost Zone deck strategies. Makes a lot of things much easier. They do miss the turn 1 knockout. I'm going to be able to evolve. They give us the Heartbreak. That's very fair. It's an unfortunate turn for them. We are going to be able to grab another Victini V here. Gonna go ahead and start applying some pressure. Gonna research, hoping for a Fire Energy. We do find it. That Heat Fire Energy. Evolve into our own Rapidash. Retreat into the Victini and just use that Max Victory. Take that first knockout here. Get a quick ball up the prizes. Not terrible. Definitely nothing to complain about there. Our opponent does have plenty of options, though. They have already put 4 cards into that Lost Zone. Could definitely be a problem for us. Nothing too crazy in their discard pile. Again, that Fighting Energy in there is implying that there's something else we need to worry about in our opponent's deck. Not exactly sure what that would be at this moment. They do have the Comfey up. I'm sure they're debating whether to use the Flower Selecting now. We do end up using the Flower Selecting ability here. Looks like they're having another tough decision of what to discard. They are going to go ahead and get rid of another Water Energy. Makes sense, their Radiant Greninja is already in the Lost Zone. There's that Lumineon V. Lumineon V on their bench is not really something that our opponent wants to see here. Just because that Lumineon is going to offer me 2 prizes at some point throughout the game. If I can, I'd love to force my opponent to take a KO on the Victini VMAX, a Victini V, as well as the Radiant Charizard. Those are going to be my 3 attackers throughout the game. So ideally, we will put them in a position that's awkward. Alternatively, we could try and convince them to take knockouts on our Rapidash and Ponyta, and then get a second Victini VMAX down and force them into an 8-prize game. Doesn't look like they have too much going on. There's that amazing rare Rayquaza coming down. Discard all basic from this Pokemon. 80 damage for each basic energy. So they could one-shot us this turn. If they do have 2 Mirage Gates, they do have 2 of them. Am I going to get absolutely destroyed by this Rayquaza here? Let's see. They get the Psychic. They get the Water. Do they have a Switch card in hand? They have a Fighting Energy. There's the Switch card. An Amazing Burst is going to take the knockout. Turn 2 onto my Victini. I don't know what to do. We are probably going to go for the Rapidash here. That's fine. We have Raihan. but I would much prefer... prefer to Roxanne. I think what we're going to do, though, we're going to Raihan to our Radiant Charizard and then look for a Fire Energy here. Get a second one down. Use that Radiant Charizard as my attacker this turn. With that Combustion Blast, we'll take the KO. I can Roxanne next turn. Put down that Victini VMAX after our Radiant Charizard has been KO'd. But we're definitely in an awkward spot here. There's the Ordinary Rod. They're going to be able to get that Rayquaza back. Maybe able to get a bunch of those energies back as well. But they do only have one Mirage Gate left. So hopefully once we get that Roxanne down, they'll be in an uncomfortable enough position that we can take this game. Our opponent does get another Ordinary Rod. They're going to be able to get some more energy back into the deck. But again, they do only have one Mirage Gate left. Yep, one Mirage Gate. So they are going to be capped at 240 damage, at least with that amazing rare Rayquaza. Fog Crystal comes down. They may be looking for an energy. They may be looking for another Comfey. Looks like they are getting the second Sableye onto the field, just trying to set up as many attackers as they can. Our opponent, in theory, could just KO 3 1-prizers to finish off this game. They do Comfey, use that flower selecting ability. They're going to get 8 cards in their Lost Zone. They did Lost Zone a Colress. Not sure exactly what their plan is here. They only have one Colress left. They have quite a large hand. I'm a little hesitant to Roxanne them with a Comfey active. And due to Combustion Blast's effect, I won't be able to use it this turn. We'll see what our opponent goes for here. They are taking quite a little bit of time to think about this. They do have another Fog Crystal. I'm going to go ahead and grab another Comfey. Comfey comes down to the bench. Scuba Net comes out of the active. They're going to Comfey again. Going to be able to go to 9 cards in the Lost Zone. They can get one more card in the Lost Zone, get a Psychic Energy on a Sableye, and get it into the active. They'll be able to start using that Lost Mine attack. It's not something we really want to see. I would love another turn before that happens. Because then we can just leave our Radiant Charizard here in the active, and maybe I could Serena that Lumineon on the following turn. There's the Raihan. Probably going to get the Psychic Energy onto the Sableye. So they need 2 switch cards. They could also retreat, so they could get... Yep, there's the switch card. They are just going to put the Cram in the active. Use that Spit Innocently attack. Yeah, that puts us in a little bit of an awkward position. I'm going to evolve our Victini. Going to Quick Ball the Battle VIP Pass here. Grab another Victini. It doesn't really make a difference. I think I'm just going to Roxanne, hoping to find an energy that I can use to retreat our Radiant Charizard this turn. Although, it's not exactly ideal. So let's just go ahead. We'll Evo Incense, get that Rapidash down. And I'm going to go ahead and attach a Heat Energy to our Victini and just pass the turn. Our opponent does have the Cram already active, so they can take the knockout on Radiant Charizard. And then it's just a matter of KOing both of my Rapidash before the game is over. Yep, there's the Spit Innocently. We are going to go ahead and promote our Victini VMAX. We're in a bit of an awkward position here. I'm just going to go ahead and Serena, bringing up this Lumineon V, and I'll max victory for the knockout. So now our hope, essentially, is that our opponent is not able to set up a second Sableye. They are 1 card short of Sableye this turn, so they'll need to find a switch or an energy. If they do find that, though, they'll be able to use the Sableye, take a KO on one of my Rapidash this turn, and then I can KO their Sableye. And all they'll need is one more Sableye to finish out the game. This one is going to be super close, so hopefully we will be able to pull it out. They are going to Lost Mine, probably going to put some damage onto our Rapidash. Yep, they do take the KO on a Rapidash. It's unfortunate. It has 100 HP. If it had 110, I could use this Heat Energy to save it, but unfortunately not going to be an option here. I'm going to attach the Heat Energy. I'll attach the Air Balloon. Oh, it's already got an Air Balloon. We'll play the Magma Basin. Marnie gives our opponent one less card to work with, so we are just going to go ahead and Marnie. And then we're going to max victory and just hope that our opponent is unable to finish the game here. Max victory, do 100 damage. All they need is a Sableye, an Energy, and a Switch card, and this game is theirs. They could also just get a Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders are Rapidash, and finish the game off with the Cramorant. Let's see. There's the Colress's Experiment. That's their last one. We Marnied them right into it. We need them to not get a Sableye and a Psychic Energy. They have a Mirage Gate. They have potentially another Fog Crystal. There's an Ordinary Rod. Probably going to shuffle in Psychic Energy. No Sableye. They do have it in hand. They have the last Fog Crystal and a Switch. There's the Flower Selecting. Taking a little bit to make a decision. They do get rid of the VIP Pass. Air Balloon. Do they have the Psychic Energy? They do find it. Unfortunate for us. We are going to lose to the Sableye's Lost Mine. They're just going to go ahead and put 120 damage onto our Rapidash, finishing the game. A very close game in what by all means is one of our absolute worst matchups. So can't complain too much. We were definitely in a position where we could have stolen that game. I think this still shows the power of Victini VMAX and how strong it is in the current meta. It's definitely one of the most fun lower tier decks. It's probably like a tier 3 deck at the moment, but definitely a lot of fun and can definitely take those wins off some of the strongest decks in the format. So as you can see, the new Victini Rapidash deck is incredibly powerful. Even after a turn 2 one-shot on our Victini VMAX, we were still almost able to clutch it out against one of our worst matchups. I think the Victini VMAX is definitely going to find a place towards the lower tiers, maybe tier 2.5, tier 3, but it's certainly an absolute ton of fun and may be able to make waves in the meta depending on how things progress going forward. If we see less of those single prizer decks, less Reggies, less Lost Box, you're going to see Victini doing better and better. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7, instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at ptcgostore.com.
Pokex Word, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon-inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at PokeXWord.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
Check out the Late Night Series Season 6, brought to you by myself, Zach Lesage, and the Shuffle Squad. We're going to be running a bunch of sick events for the Pokemon community, and they start on August 30th. So one thing you might be noticing here is that there's an EU time and an NA time. We have one at 12 p.m. Eastern, which works out to about 5 p.m. in London. And then we have one at 7 p.m. Eastern, which should help out a lot of players on the West Coast play in this event. That being said, we still have a lot of cool things going on. Expect similar prizing that we've had for other late night series events. Expect better staffing, expect better tournament experiences, and of course we do have a stream going up for this season as well, and I will be streaming the event on Twitch. That being said, we have the whole season up on the Play Limitless website. Late Night 51 all the way through 70 runs until we hit the Invitational on November 5th. So check that out, sign up today, and support Zach Lesage Events and the Shuffle Squad. See you there.